Episode 7. TTQ, Thoughts, Theories, and Questions. Batman Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 7, It's Never Too Late. What's up? Character rundown. Batman, Bullock, Gordon, Chick, Father Michael, Gabe, Constance, Blaine, Connie, Mason, young Arnie, Stromwell, Thorn, Michael, Simon, Joey, Stash, and Joey is for Joseph. That's the run of characters. Some interesting things real quick about the characters. Like 3 or 4 of these characters' names don't even get mentioned in the show. In the episode. Like nobody even says their names out loud. So I'm not sure who Gabe is. I'm not sure who Chick is. I'm not sure who Constance or Blaine is. I'm not sure who Mason is. Everybody else I can account for. But so, and by the way, Simon, Joey, and Stash, those 3 names weren't even on the character list, at the credit list at the end of the episode. But they actually said these characters' names in the show. So I just thought it was some interesting inconsistencies, I guess. So yeah, so a brief synopsis of the episode. It's Never Too Late, name of the episode. Episode starts out, we understand from a news report that there's a mob war between Arnold Stromwell and Rupert Thorne. Some of y'all might be familiar with Mr. Rupert Thorne, especially after that Creature Commandos episode where we learned a little bit more about Dr. Phosphorus. Which is interesting because in the show, he says he doesn't mess with family. Rupert Thorne, he tells Arnold Stromwell, I don't hurt family. I only say that to connection of Creature Commandos because we see how precious, how close he holds family. And Dr. Phosphorus didn't care about none of that. Anyways, back to the synopsis. So, Arnold Stromwell, the older mob boss, Rupert Thorne, the younger mob boss trying to come through, take over, you know what I'm saying? New blood youth, you know what I'm saying? Buck getting wild, he about to crash out. And while the news report is going, by the way, it's not Summer Gleason who's the news reporter. I think she might actually have been promoted from on the site reporter to her own talk show, like we learned when she was dealing with Daggett. So now it's a new news reporter, and we learn that from her, not only is there's this mob war, but also Arnold Stromwell's son, Joseph, is missing. And so we find out that Arnold Stromwell is so irate. He's so flustered and pissed off and all that good stuff that he's like, I need a meeting now with Rupert Thorne so we can nip this in the bud. By the way, I used to say nip it in the butt, but I think somebody corrected me, or I must have read it somewhere, or I realized I was messing it up. I realized I was saying it different. Yeah, nip it in the bud. I always get stuff like that wrong. One time in English class, I said I got the jizz of it. I wasn't sure if it was the gist or the jizz of it, so I made a choice. Unfortunately, I was speaking out loud to the teacher, so everybody was like, "What?" And I was like, "Huh? Oh, is it just oh?" Your boy said I got the jizz of it in high school. Sorry, I just made me think about that. So, Arnold Stromwell, I have to meet Rupert Thorne so I can get my son back, figure out what's going on. I know it must have been, you know what I'm saying? I know it must have been Rupert Thorne. So Rupert Thorne goes, okay, have him meet us over here at Pete's. Pete's Italian restaurant. And Rupert Thorne is in there with his main crew, his top 5, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to MySpace. And they're planning how they're not going to call a truce. They calling Arnold Stromwell over there to take him out, to get him off the Monopoly game board. You feel me? To hit him with the GTA wasted. Hit you with that Mario. So they make the plan. Arnold Stromwell shows up, but on his way to the meeting, they stop at some train tracks, Arnold Stromwell, because, you know, a train's coming through. And he's having this, like, traumatic flashback of him as a young kid and this other kid, and they're playing in a train yard. And then tragedy is getting ready to ensue because Arnold's foot is stuck in the track and the train's coming. But before the train hits him in his flashback, he comes back to now. So Arnold Stromwell gets to Pete's Pizza. Oh, I won't call it a pizzeria. It's an Italian restaurant. And he walks up in the place with his two bodyguards, or his two right-hand men, his two goons, gangsters, mob affiliators. And Rupert Thorne enacts the plan, getting Arnold Stromwell to, all right, chill, man. All right, we're going to sit here. It's just going to be me and you. We're going to have the rest of the boys take a walk, go outside, chill. It's going to be me and you. Matter of fact, let me get Pete, get us something to eat. Let me go to the kitchen with Pete to get us something to eat. You stay here by yourself while me and Pete go in the back so we get the food popping, come out, eat, and talk. But Arnold Stromwell's like, hold up. Rupert Thorne turns off the lights, gives it 5 seconds for him and Pete to dip. And then Pete's restaurant, kabloom, turn into a mushroom cloud. So they all think, oh, snap, we got him. We got Arnold. Batman comes to save the day. Now, Batman knows about the whole thing, because prior to Arnold Stromwell getting to the restaurant, Batman's doing some reconnaissance, dressed in there as like a blonde bum. My man sticks a little recording device under the table after Pete has to tell him to leave because he seems a little worse for wear. But that's Bruce getting his act on, making it seem like he's too drunk. So like I said, Bruce comes, saves Arnold. They dip. And Bruce Wayne's like, yo, this is an opportunity to stop this mess. I need you to go ahead and turn in Rupert Thorne. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. You feel me? The title of the episode. Arnold Stromwell was like, man, bump all of that. I ain't hearing none of that. I ain't no square. I'm getting this paper. I'm the Don Dada. So then Batman's like, all right, well, follow me then. So he takes him to this place called Sunrise Foundation. And it's a drug rehab center. Dude, a drug rehab center and a Saturday morning cartoon. This show goes too hard. It's too dope. Talking about that real stuff. The real stuff. You feel me? They walk into the rehabilitation center. But my man's not sure why. Batman's like, oh, you gonna go up in there and see? Arnold Stromwell's like, all right, cool. I'll follow whatever. I'll walk in there. He walks into the room, and it's his son, the missing son, Joey. His son is in the Sunrise Foundation Drug Rehab Center, strung out. My man got the 5 o'clock shadow. He in the bed like, I'm like, dang. Connie, that's his mom, but she's no longer with Arnold, his ex-wife. She's Arnold's ex-wife. And she's there. And he's like, oh, Connie, how did you know? And she's like, oh, Batman just told me yesterday. He been up in here. So I was like, wow. But then Arnold Stromwell, you're not trying to hear it. His wife is trying to tell him on some Tony Stark stuff. You're the reason why this happened to your son. You wonder who strung him out. It was your drugs. He ain't trying to hear that. So he pretends like he's going to go back to the office and help Batman out. But he grabs the shotty and points it at Batman and is like, look, I ain't turning over no new leaf. I know how to rehabilitate my son. I'm going to go take him out that center. And Batman's like, no, you tripping. You think you got it. You don't got it like that, G. I'm giving you a chance. Save your son. Meanwhile, one of Rupert Thorne's thugs stayed behind when the explosion happened just to get confirmation that Arnold Stromwell was taken out. And he got confirmation that Arnold Stromwell was saved by Batman. So he takes it back to Rupert Thorne. Rupert Thorne's like, all right, then we got a double, triple lug. Let's go hit the streets. So him and all of them go hit the streets looking for Arnold. And sure enough, they go back to his office because that's where Arnold Stromwell took Batman to pretend like he was going to turn a new leaf. So the Arnold Stromwell and his homies come in, they throw the smoke grenade. Batman's like, stay here. Smart Batman breaks the window just to give some ventilation. You know what I'm saying? He boop, 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 starts taking him out. Arnold flees. Batman's like, stay here while I take him out. Arnold's like, psych! I break the law. I ain't listening to you. Blink! Broke out the office. Now he's running through the train. He's running through this train yard, this abandoned train yard that was next to, well, maybe it's not abandoned, but that's next to where Arnold Stromwell has his candy business. Would you like some candy? Yeah, it's them candy drugs. I mean, even candy, wouldn't that be interesting if candy was classified as a drug in the future? But sorry, Arnold Stromwell's in the train yard trying to skirt, and they're looking for him. And meanwhile, Batman's tailing him, so he's taking Rupert Thorne's homies out while they're looking for Arnold Stromwell. And sure enough, Arnold Stromwell comes upon the same tracks that we saw. He had that flashback where he got his foot stuck. So then he starts to, like that. So Raven, when she gets hit with the visions, my man Arnold Stromwell was like, and started having the wild, the trauma flashback. So now it finishes the story, the flashback. My man, the train's coming. Young Arnie's trying to get his foot off the track. He finally does it last second. But then he runs onto the next track, just escaping the other train. But as soon as he done that, there's another train on that track. And he's too afraid and stuck to do anything. And so this kid pushed him out the way, and all of a sudden you just see the train. When you don't see the kid anymore. And it's like, what? Now, I already gave mad spoilers away, but I guess I shouldn't give. I'm probably going to give more away by accident. But I'll say all that to say, a guardian angel of his appeared. You feel me? And basically, helped him. Was like, hey. And I'm not talking about the dream anymore. The flashback happened. Now he's back in the real world. And he's like, oh. From what happened in the flashback. And then an old friend of his, I'll say. I mean, y'all ain't gonna watch it anyway, so this is why go watch it, though. Go watch it. But, man. Yeah, I don't want to give it away. I'm gonna try not to. But I'll say all that to say somebody from his past came and basically got him to realize, hey, man, you got to turn over a new leaf. I know you think you live in a life, but you think you paid, but your empire is crumbling. Not only because of the cops trying to take him down, but because Rupert Thorne is trying to battle him away, or trying to, he's his competition. You divorced. You don't even have a wife. Your kid's strung up in rehab. You ain't even with him. It's like, bro, what's the point? What's the point, bro? Bro, you literally have an icebox where your heart used to be. You ain't, where's the love at? And you don't even look happy right now. You ain't even at the club, turning up right now. You stressing. He didn't say all that, but basically that's what he said and got him to kind of realize. Meanwhile, Rupert Thorne's guys come up on him, but Batman's bing, 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 taking him out to make sure, Arnold Stromwell and his guardian angel have that time together so he can really, get him to understand you got to do something different. So the police come, and at the end, Stromwell's like, okay, I'll give a statement. That Batman theme. But yeah, so that was the episode. It's never too late. Yeah. So let's go to some notes. Note jam. So one of the things I thought was interesting was, I think I mentioned it before. I'll go in order because I think I know this episode pretty well now. So I love that they have a new news reporter. They don't really mention her name, so I wonder if she'll come up in future episodes. But clearly, they're giving different people a chance at Gotham 12. Or maybe it wasn't Gotham 12, channel that he was watching. But, so I thought that was interesting. The theme of kids. So the episode opens with like a bunch of kids playing. Like I said, the mob boss, Arnold Stromwell, he has these flashbacks to when he was a kid and his friend. And his son isn't a kid. Joey, the one that was in the drug rehabilitation center, he's not a child, or he's not a young kid, but he's still the youth. And then they mention about Arnold Stromwell being older and Rupert Thorne being the younger of the two, and that he's taking over. So it's this thing of, I don't know, cyclical nature. Because even as a youngin' in the flashbacks with Arnold Stromwell when he was young, he's always talking about he's going to take the city over. No, this is going to be my city. I'm going to take the city over. But then you took the city over and look what you did to it. You've inspired the youth to only want to, well, no, obviously not only, but you've inspired a lot of the youth to want to take your position. Not to want to do better, not to improve, not to do their own thing. You're inspiring a lot of kids to follow in your footsteps. And I love that it shows that bad things don't happen in a vacuum. Right? It's not like these kids are being sheltered from it. It's like, no. The unfortunate evil, corruption, deception, violence, anger, hate that resides in Gotham, it affects the youth. It's not just the adults. It affects the youth. It affects how they grow up. It affects how they perceive the world around them, their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, what they are going to pour their energy into. And it's like crime and drugs. They're showing an example of that in this show, which I think is dope. But yeah, this idea of it's never too late, no matter how old you get. But then showing that it starts when you're young. What starts when you're young? Anything starts when you're young. You're young. You're starting, so whatever that is with you is also starting. So yeah, youth. The importance of youth, the importance of protecting the youth. The youth being like a fragile mind state. You want to do everything you can to build up, strengthen, give your mindset, the youth, the tools they can to protect themselves, while also being as much of a guide as possible to hopefully give them the best opportunity to head in a direction that works best for them. Yeah, I mentioned about the cyclical nature of inspiring the youth. And Stromwell throughout the episode takes credit for being the leader of the city. I'm the power. I'm the leader of the city. But it's almost like he doesn't understand what the city is. Right? It's like, so you claim to be owner, ruler, you know what I'm saying? Administrator of the city. The big boss. The data. But this is the product. This is what you have to show for it. You got Rupert Thorne trying to take you out. You got people getting your kids strung up. So, interesting. Also, if there's one young person in that Sunrise Foundation, I'm assuming he's not the only one. That foundation is probably filled with kids and youth strung out on drugs, trying to rehabilitate. This show. To think when I was younger, your boy probably had cereal during the commercial breaks of this. But it's good though. It's good. Why shelter kids from the truth? If kids, that's one thing I think about. I feel like if life is a game and you don't tell me the rules, if you don't give me the real rules until later, I mean, I thank you for protecting the childhood, but it's like, ooh, life is tough. I could have really used knowing those rules earlier, you know. Because not knowing them ain't going to help you. Not knowing the rules, not knowing how life really works ain't going to help you. So I love that this show was like, no, we going to, kids, we gonna let you in on a little secret. A lot of times, life sucks. But, understand that now. And be appreciative that you live in, and it's a perspective, and not everybody feels that way. But I mean, yeah, it's not gonna go the way you planned. But I think that's just great. It's just great. Let it give it a little kernel now, so we know now. I digress. I was gonna say something, but I think that kind of gives it away. Plus, I don't think it's that much of a connection, so. I'm trying not to give it away, but it's so good. Let's just say the guardian angel of Arnold Stromwell is a lot closer to him than I would have thought. You know what I mean? They're closer than just friends. That's funny. That kind of insinuates something else. So I guess now I should say the secret or secret, whatever. They're brothers. The guardian angel, the guy that saved him, the kid that saved him when they were younger, that was his little brother. And his little brother survived. He just got his leg yomped off from the train when he saved Arnold, his older brother. And Michael's like Arnie's guardian angel, kind of. But yes, I say that to say that I had a thought in here in my notes that Arnold Stromwell has one child. And this doesn't have to be connected, but I'm curious, seeing as he probably feels he failed as an older brother. He wasn't a good example. He was stealing. His little brother had to keep telling him, put this stuff back. Live better, bro. Like, listen to mom and dad. Or listen to mom. Or he calls him mama boy, so I'm going to say, listen to mama. And so I'm wondering if because Arnold Stromwell feels like he wasn't a good big brother, maybe he has some guilt, that maybe that's why he's only had one son. Now, no. There could be plenty of other reasons why he's only had one child. But seeing as he had siblings, not that everybody does this, but, I guess living the life you live can affect the life you want your child to live. And I find that people that seem to have a positive view on having siblings will have kids and will be like, yeah, I want them to have siblings. I want them to understand what it's like to have siblings. And understand that, know that, and some people, having siblings, like, it means a lot to them. Like having a sister, having a brother, so much that they'll make sure that they're... Now, this isn't the same with everybody. Of course, some people will just have kids and it won't be connected to I had a brother, so I want to make sure my little one has a brother too. But just something that popped into my head that I thought might have been an interesting correlation, Yeah. I mean, also, you're leader, you're a mob gang leader. You're the mobster. So maybe you don't want to have a whole bunch of kids like, I'm have all this ammo for my enemies to go after. No, but just something that came to mind. He has a brother, but he has a son, and it's the only son, so he didn't want his son to have any brothers, or they just chose not to, or plenty of things could have happened. But I thought it was an interesting theory. I also thought it was interesting, the cyclical nature of the same spot where young Arnie's nightmare probably started. He seemed to be very, not carefree, but I'm going to take over the city. I'm stealing. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm living life. I mean, really, young Arnie was a YN on the low. And what's the note for it? And when it comes back full circle at the end of the episode, when he finds himself back on those same tracks, and his younger brother basically comes and says, hey, it's about that time. And the reason his younger brother knew where Arnie was because Batman told him. Yeah, Batman, he be studying. He's been trying to get Arnold Stromwell to turn over the leaf. Clearly, he's just done his work. So, the cyclical nature of your nightmare starting at the train tracks, right? You've let your brother down. You have a reminder of that forever because his brother is scarred, right? He has a wooden leg because of it. So he had to sacrifice. And then to see that the beginning of his redemption or salvation is in that same spot with his brother, saving him again. You know? I mean, that's beautiful writing. I love it. Beautiful writing. Wasn't about now, there's nothing wrong with the flashy, colorful villains, but this episode wasn't. It wasn't. I'm trying to sell my cereal. I'm trying to get these candies and toys off. Episode. It wasn't. Let's put the. Let's put the commercials and advertising around this episode because look, it's like no. This episode was low key for the adults and the kids that are encounter real life, the reality of real life, sooner than later. That's what that episode was for. Life lessons from the episode. It's never too late. Well, I mean, it's never too late. Which is, speaking from my perspective, it's a bit of an obstacle to accept. I feel like now I need to do stuff. I need to be the best now, right away. But that's if I'm listening to everything and watching everything and listening to what I'm being told what to do, you know. Commercials, TV shows, podcasts, advertising. It's always, you're not good enough, so get my product. And if you get my product, you will feel better. And you'll feel better for longer. But that's not the case a lot of the times. So it's never too late. Keep pushing, but just keep swimming. Keep moving forward. Meet the Robinsons. Just keep swimming. Finding Nemo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I take from that. No matter how dark it is, if I can find a way to hold on to that kernel of hope, that little kernel of light, that photon of hope, there's a possibility. That's the thing about light. You just need a photon, and that's it. It's there. Now, obviously, I'm sure the science of that isn't accurate, right? But you get the metaphor. I'm trying to mix the art with the science, you know. But yeah, hold on to that photon. Even if it feels like I'm defeated, I just need to keep that photon in my hand to know I still have hope. To know I still have hope. Just keep I got some light in my hand. I got to hold it here. And then also, so with that, and then also, as I'm getting older, and I'm not a part of the the youth, the more and more I am less and less a part of the demographic known as the youth or the future. Again, I personally walk away with, look at the future, look at young people as like gifts, like diamonds, like I guess precious plants. Like they need to be protected. They need to be, given the nutrients and the resources to develop in whatever direction they want to go to, in as much as possible, as deep and as much as possible as they can. But yeah, I guess just to keep my mind on the youth. It don't look like we're doing a good job of protecting the youth. I mean, yeah. I mean, I get it though. Because the youth is like, F you! We can do it! We're better! We're smarter! We're younger! Not all the time, but It's tough. It's not like the youth is all, believe it, everybody not like Ippo Makanouchi. Everybody's not like, oh yes, teach me. I'll just learn. I'll be humble. What do you want me to do? Let me go hard. No, I have to try. Don't give up. Oh. It's like, nah. They're like, man, F this. I'm out of here. I'm going YouTube. I'm about to go get me. You know what I mean? You just look for the dopamine. Yes. So it's never too late in the title. And that's true as long as I believe it. Because I'm realizing that any and everything is true damn near all the time. It's just about what perspective am I taking, right? Life is good, life is bad. Yeah. Life isn't a one state being thing. It's all those things at once. It's Mr. Manhattan thinking about past, present, time, the emotions, what happened, the causes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hold on to hope. That's all I gotta do is just hold on to it. No matter what, hold on to hope. Stay in the fight. And keep an eye on the youth. Whenever I can do something positive for a youth. Whenever I can uplift a youth. Or I can give a youth. Maybe I don't have to insert myself into whatever situation so I can feel good about it. I helped him. I showed that youngin' how to do it. I gave him game. Maybe a lot of times I need to just step back. Let the youth do what they was already gonna do, because a lot of the youth just always seem to be smarter and brighter and have. It's like, oh, you have the innocent, dope life thoughts, like the real. You haven't acquired all the BS that comes with getting older. That's causes your filter to be stained yellow to you can't get it no filtered anymore. So yeah. All right. I mean, yeah, that's it. Episode 8. I think it's another 2-parter. Maybe. I gotta check. But also, I think I'm gonna start doing Ippo, Hajime no Ippo reviews too. But I mean, that could be for a totally different episode. Y'all like, I'm here for the Batman. Y'all. I'm like, I'm watching myself. I'm here for the Batman. Now that's accurate. All right. That's it. Enjoy it. Always watch the art. Always watch the art first. Watch the art first. The art is good. Art is to the good. The creation is to the good. So taking some good art creation. And I guess it's funny. I don't know what a send off, and maybe I don't even need a send off, but a good reminder for me, a nice send off to send myself every time I get off of a video is slow down, be humble, hold on to the hope. Those are 3. Slow down, be humble, and hold on to hope. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Boom, 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 boom. The Rock sells. Bye.